So I'm not beyond admitting that my collection is out of control, that my purchasing habits have been out of control. And well, I've got to look at that, and there is a change happening in how I'm collecting. So we're going to delve into that, and we're going to delve into a new strategy that I've got to prevent myself from spending money on some of these new releases that are coming out. Generally new releases that are double dipping. So what, you know, let's get into it. Let's just get into it. Hello everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back to the channel and to this video. It's a chat and it's a look at my collecting habits. So if you're familiar with the channel, you know that recently, or yesterday, I actually posted the first part of a culling of my collection, where I've gone through a shelf or a couple of shelves and I've taken off stuff that I really don't need in the collection. Some of it is good stuff that I've removed, stuff that I already have or have also in a box set somewhere, like some of the James Bond films. I have that big lovely box set that takes them all the way up to Skyfall, where you had the space for Skyfall to sit in it. So yeah, things like that taken out of the equation, taken off the shelf, free up some space. It's very liberating. It's a very liberating thing to do. Not only that, there's a lot of films over the time that I have bought in CEX very cheap because I hadn't seen them, and I thought, oh, I'll give that a watch. And the same for Poundland, when I picked them up for £2, and then £1 when Poundland were discontinuing selling physical media. It left me with a lot of tripe in the collection, and this came to my, well, it came more aware to me because for the past 50 weeks, or no, it's less than that, I'm sorry, near enough 50 weeks. For the past 50 weeks, I've been doing a series called Desert Island Discs. It's on every other Saturday, sorry, at 5 p.m. So I do a Saturday, I skip a Saturday, I do a Saturday, like that, every other. And again, I go through a shelf and I have a look at all the films on that shelf and pick that one film that I would take with me above all else on that shelf. And what that's done to me going through the collection has highlighted the amount of dross that I actually have in Blu-ray. Not so much when it comes to steelbooks and things like that, but just your standard A to Z library of Blu-ray. It's filled with some crap. And I was finding it very hard to get rid of stuff because on the one hand, there's no value in these films. In a lot of them, there's no value. You know, they're pennies. You try and trade them in at CEX, they'll offer you a penny for them. They'll offer you a penny or 10p because they don't actually want them, because they're not shifting them. No one is buying them. Charity shops a lot of charity shops stopped taking physical media because they're not shifting them either. And I'm reluctant to give them to a charity shop for that reason, because I know that ultimately they're going to end up in the bin. Now, I can't bin them myself, and I don't want to see them go in the bin. I think that's horrendous. I think that's tragic. I think that's a travesty. So, you know, I could sell on eBay, but again, I'm going to get very little. I could bulk sell on eBay. I might get a few quid. Probably won't even cover postage. So, yeah, I don't really know what to do with the ones that I'm actually culling yet. But most certainly, they are not going into the bin. Now, looking at my finances and looking at my collection going forward, I've seen a shift in my collection because I have stopped visiting CEXs. This has just come about naturally. I haven't forced that. It's just that, you know, I can go into a lot of CEXs. Where I am in London, I can go in any direction. I'm probably within about 30 minutes of a CEX, if not closer. When I go to work, there's one there. When I go up into London, there's a couple of there. If I go Bromley, there's one. I've got my local one. I go Deptford, there's one. I go Woolwich, there's one. I've got Elephant and Castle, there's one. They're everywhere. They are everywhere. For me. But the thing is, when I go in, it's the same old stock because the stock isn't selling and not many people are actually trading in anymore because they don't get nothing in return for trading them in. So they don't trade them in. And also shrinking marketplace of physical media. So you go into a CEX, I just see the same stuff. And where I've been going in for the channel for a couple of years on the trot, doing physical media hunts and this sort of a thing, I'd go in and there's nothing to pick up. So let's stop with the CEX visits unless I know for certain that CEX has got something that I want. Now I know that my CEX near work, and this would be Wimbledon, has Saw X in stock on standard Blu-ray. I would pick it up because I didn't pick it up on Steelbook. I didn't feel the need to have it in Steelbook, and I didn't feel the need to have the 4K. The rest of the Saw franchise I have on Blu-ray. So continue with that trend. So don't buy it when it first comes out. I buy it later on to save that money. But that trip into CEX is I know that it's there before I go in because I've checked online. I wouldn't pick anything else up in there though. Very unlikely. You never know. There might be some little surprise. But because I've stopped buying this sort of stuff, I've started shifting my focus more and more lately onto prestige format releases. So some that I've got over the past few months is like this. Is this from HD Zeta Bumblebee? With a lovely lenticular on it. These sort of things that come with a steelbook, with the books, with the art cards, all this, a lovely box. I'm quite liking these editions. Now, obviously, these sort of things are very expensive. But most certainly, I'm only going to get them for films that I truly love. For instance, more recently, one of the most recent pickups I did was for Jaws. This was a lot of money. This is the Cine Museum edition, yes, and it cost me a considerable amount. I actually watched this again last night in 4K. It looks beautiful. It's a fantastic, fantastic movie. It's my favourite movie of all time. I love Jaws. And then for 20 quid, I did buy the Thor Love and Thunder, talking about good films, any good film, but I like Marvel, and this was £20, and it comes with a lovely book with some writings in it and some art cards and a solid box. I would never have paid £50 for this. This is how much it was when it first came out. I did for the Doctor Strange one, not for this. So you can see a shift in my collecting habits. That I used to buy a lot of cheap dross, yeah, and yeah, it was cheap, but now I'm focusing on some of these sort of products, and it may get to the point where, you know, every month or every 2 months, I've got the money to treat myself to a nice release. I do look at them all the time, and there isn't too many that overly intrigue me of these kind of things. I mean, they are nice, all of them, but I look at them and I think it's not a film I want to spend that amount of money on. So driving home today, my wife is making me save some money. She's making me save, right? She's bought a tin. She's bought a tin that you can put coins into, and she's saying to me, look, just drop some notes into it. Drop some notes into it, and yeah, and see what you've got at the end of the year by Christmas. Cover Christmas, a lot of it. So, but then I'm thinking, you know, I've got 2 weeks until payday. I've got X amount of money left. If I just drop some money into that, it takes it away from what I've set aside for upcoming releases. So it kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul kind of a situation there. And that's something that I really don't want to get into. Yes, I have savings that I can delve into, but it kind of seems counterintuitive to save money out of money that I've got for things that I want to buy, to leave myself short, to only then take the money from savings and put it away, and so I've lost it. See what I mean? It's like I'm just moving it around and I'm still not really saving in a sense. So then I'm driving home and I'm thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What other releases do I have this month coming out? And then 3 answers came to me. 3 more releases this month are coming my way. And that is the 4K Steelbook edition of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths, Part 1. the animated Justice League movie from DC. It's £25, but I've already paid for £15 of it with a voucher. So when it comes to dispatch, I'm only going to be paying £10. So that one is going to stay. So, yeah. And then another release is the Alligator and Alligator 2 release from 101 Films. Now, I'm on the fence with this one. I was going to get it because I've got the steelbook for Alligator, which contains Alligator and Alligator 2, The Mutation, the two films that are in this set. They're in there in this steelbook that I got from Germany. So, do I need the 101 Films? I'm doubling down on Alligator as a movie. You know, the 1980 movie Alligator. So that one's still up in the air. I may get that, I may not. And then it comes to the Criterion release of Thelma and Louise in 4K. This is £30. Now I do like the Criterion releases. They're nice. But, this is the but, and this is where I think that something new in my way forward is going to come into play. Now, Thelma and Louise is a film that I've not watched in a long time. It's a Ridley Scott movie, you know, Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis. Brad Pitt has a part in it as well. It's a very good film from some time ago. Lovely that it's getting a 4K release. Beautiful. I think it already had one in America. But my question is, do I need it on 4K? You know, I upgrade, I buy it, I upgrade, I watch it. All good. But what I'm going to try now is this. So I've got Thelma and Louise here, and it's still sealed. And I bought it probably about a year ago. Haven't got around to watching it. It's just the Blu-ray version. So what I'm going to do over the next few days before the release of this movie is I'm going to open this up and I'm going to watch the film. Okay? And then at that point, I think I can gladly cancel the Criterion release because I've got it out of my system. I've watched the film. Why do I need to buy it? Because it'd be a complete waste of time because I'm not going to watch it again. Okay, the picture quality is and the sound might be a little bit better, but does that warrant paying 30 quid again for a film that I've already got? And this is how it goes with a lot of stuff within the collection, because you're getting these special editions and you've got to ask yourself, do you want them or not? And I'm hoping that watching it just completely scrubs it from my system of having to want it, because that's what it is. I don't need it, it's that I want it. But do I want it? Watch the film first. Watch the film on top of it coming out, and then see if you really want to part with 30 quid for it. And that's 30 quid saved. Like I said, okay, Alligator I'm in two minds about, but I probably won't order that either. But my point is that I've got it. Even if this was opened, I would watch it again before it comes out in the hope that it stops me from buying the new upgrade, because that's the way the collection is going now. It's upgrade everything, upgrade, and I don't want to upgrade everything. Yeah, I've upgraded from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray, then to 4K. How many damn times do I have to upgrade? It's a problem. It is a problem. It's a problem up here in the psyche. I know that. It's an addiction. I don't know what it is. I mean, I love collecting, but I want to shift the collecting. I want to shift away from constant upgrades like this, and then maybe treat myself to a really lovely edition akin to this. So let a couple of these go, you know, a couple of 4K upgrades, Thelma and Louise and whatever, Alligator, and I could buy myself, okay, it's still going to be a repeat of a film, inevitably, but it's going to have a far superior package and collection to it, if that makes sense. And that's the sort of thing that I want to go go to doing. And so Thelma and Louise is my first foray into this attempt at driving down what I pick up and what I want to pick up, and I'm hoping it works as a success. And yeah, that's how I'm going to move forward and attempt to cull my, well, ain't even cull my need to pick up a new release, and be more selective while saving some money. I think that's the way forward. I most certainly is, at the same time while culling the collection as it is. Most definitely. Anyway, that's it. Just a little chat about what I'm doing moving forward, how I'm going to do it. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts? Do you think that's a good idea? A bad idea? Do you have any other ideas on how I could control more so? Because I am good with money. Don't get me wrong. You know, I get paid. I get paid at the well, whenever it is in the month. I get paid every 4 weeks. It's not a calendar month. I get paid every 4 weeks, so 13 times a year. And what I do is that the day I'm paid, I sit down and I divert all my money into different accounts. So I've got all my bills. You know, I've got money for the house, money for the electric, money for whatever, gas, water, all that. It's all parted, taken out. For the car, taken out, shopping, taken out, some joint savings with the wife, my own savings, holiday fund, and I'm left with what I'm left with, generally around the same amount, and that's a kind of disposable income that I use for my collection. Now, I don't drink, I don't smoke, certainly don't do drugs, nothing like that. My outgoings are minimal outside of the collection of stuff. Seriously, I put aside money for the dog now, things like this. So I'm very good with money in that sense, but I do think that I can be better with the spending on this stuff. I mean, Criterion, you know, if I don't, you know, back to Thelma and Louise, you know, if I don't buy it now, it's feasible that I could pick it up in a sale, at sale price later on down the line. It's feasible that I could go through CEX online and see that it's down a tenner or down, and if I feel the need to get it, then I've saved a tenner then. But I'm hoping that it just culls that need altogether, and I can say, I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I didn't pick up the 4K version. Thoughts down below, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care all, and goodbye.